Hey, it's Patti Scharf, CPA and co-founder of Catching Clouds, the leader in e-commerce accounting. And today I have moved outside. I'm not in my office today. It's Saturday, you guys, and you know, all work and no play and all that. So I've actually decided to make my Saturday videos be a little bit different from my other videos that are, you know, poking into Xero or telling you about e-commerce, Shopify, Amazon, all those different things. I wanted to remind everyone that there's more to business than just the business part. I have personally been up to my elbows in more than 100 e-commerce businesses books. I've looked at hundreds and hundreds of just books in general. I've started several businesses on my own. I've had massive failures. I've had massive successes, or at least successes. Well, it remains to be seen whether they're going to be massive, and that's all relative anyway. But I guess the point I'm trying to make is I'm seeing some trends through all these different businesses, and one of the things that I want to talk about is the fact that business is a marathon. It's not a sprint. So you have to take time. For some it's on the weekends, sometimes it's during the week, rarely it's during the week. But you need to take time to just think, because that's where all your creative thoughts come from. That's where, you know, if you're just bombarded with information all the time, you need some downtime to let all that stuff kind of simmer and gel and come together. Like if you're making a chili, you don't just like throw all the ingredients together and eat it. You have to let it just kind of let the flavors meld. And business is a lot that way. I can't tell you how many times I'm in the shower or on a run or gardening or whatever, and I will stop because I have inspiration when I'm not even thinking about what it is that a problem that I want to solve. I just set the problem aside, I go do something else, and then poof, it comes together. So coming up over the next several weeks, months, years, I don't know, whenever inspiration stops hitting me, I want to cover a lot of different topics besides just e-commerce, but all related to business. So some of the things I'm thinking about right now: remote work, creating a virtual team, questions about hiring, bringing a group together to work as a team. I'm going to be talking about nomadic life, because Scott and I are going to be traveling with our 14-year-old daughter down in New Zealand and Australia from December to, I think, May. So we're going to learn how to live life on the road, which is honestly why we built this business to begin with, is so that we could experience different cultures and contribute to the community as a whole, no matter where we are. So we aren't really tied to a desk or even a house. I don't want this to be just me out here just talking to hear myself talk. I really want to hear what you guys are interested in. I want to know what challenges you're struggling with. We've got a couple of Facebook groups, one for e-commerce sellers and one for accountants, and you can find the links to that down below. I recommend that you sign up and join our community. When you actually go to sign up, it'll ask you 3 questions. I will tell you right now, if you don't answer those questions, I am not going to admit you into the group. So be a part of the community. I want to hear where the struggles are. If I've learned nothing else, it's that walking the entrepreneur life alone is really, really hard. It's demoralizing. You feel really isolated. A lot of people who start their businesses start it from their homes, and because they treat it like a sprint, they're just working all the time, and they're kind of stuck in their own little bubble. And I encourage you to reach out, because you're going to go farther, faster together than you are if you're trying to just figure things out on your own. Okay, so after having said all of that, I want to talk about today's topic, which came from Brian Landis, who is part of our Facebook group. And he said, "Patti, for those of us who work from home, what strategies or techniques do you use to turn it off? I find myself getting totally absorbed with the work, and I have a tendency to lose track of time." And this is really what gave me inspiration for these Saturday videos. I've been wanting to talk about this stuff for a long time, but this was kind of my segue in. Here's the thing. Working from home can be super insidious, because what happens is you're working from home, and at the beginning you're like super excited. You're so happy to have this new job or business that you're starting, and so you're spending all your time doing it. And you get to the weekends and you're like, oh well, I'm just going to take care of this, that, and the other thing, and you do it. And then after a while your business starts to grow, and then you get to Saturday and you're like, oh, I didn't get all those things done that I wanted to get done. And then soon you're working a few hours on Saturday. Then you're working all day on Saturday. Then you're working all day Saturday and a little bit on Sunday. And then you're like, crap, I've had no had no downtime at all. And it sucks, you know. So you have to come up with different tricks to give yourself some of that time back. So here's some tips. Just more than anything, make sure that you're keeping yourself healthy. This is a marathon, not a sprint. So you need to make sure that you're fueling your body well, that you are getting exercise, especially if you can get out. Like when I first started running into this entrepreneur problem 10 years ago or something, I started karate because I wanted a reason to get away from my desk so I didn't just drop dead at my desk, okay? But I picked something where there was a community of people so that if I didn't show up, they would notice if I wasn't there. And that's a plus and a negative, because there are just sometimes in your business where you have to just be laser focused. And so what ended up happening was, it took me I think 8 years to get my black belt, when people around me were getting it in 3. But you know, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So that was fine. As long as I just kept going, that's what was important to me. So just get out. If you can get into nature, either by I live in Colorado, there are mountains all around. We go camping a lot of weekends during the summer. A lot of the people who work for us, they enjoy skiing, or they have a cabin in the mountain, or things like that. Or gardening is huge, because you can just kind of get your hands into dirt and just think about other things. Just anything that relaxes you and recharges you, just make a conscious effort to schedule that into your day. Just say, hey, I am not going to be working from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. because I'm going to be exercising, and then I'm going to take a shower, and I'm going to leisurely get ready, and then you can have your way with me the rest of the day. So something else that I want to bring up is the fact that now we live in a 24/7, always on kind of a world. And I think a lot of people have just been trying to go faster and faster and faster to keep up with that, when really people need to just set their boundaries and go, you know what, I will do what is reasonably possible to do, because people will respect you for it. We have a policy in our business that we will respond to our clients within 24 hours, you know, by the next business day. You know, that gives us time to kind of schedule in the needs of all of our clients and not being run by any one person. And it's pretty effective. In most cases, we respond within a couple of hours, but it gives us a little bit of leeway so that if we don't respond until the next day, I mean, people understand, you know, you have things going on. Usually I have my full day scheduled. I don't have time really for a lot of extra stuff on demand. So you just need to set your boundaries and do what you can. Do what's reasonable, and make sure that you make yourself a priority, and so that you can be healthy and happy. You know, you didn't start a business so that you could just be driven into the ground by it, you know. Other suggestions I've got are, have a separate space for work. So if you are I have a separate office where at the end of the day, I turn my computer all the way off. I shut the door. On the really good days, I'll leave my phone in there too. And then solitude and peace, and I can engage with the family. outside of my office. So in that office is work, and outside of it is not work. Another tip I have for you is to, as you're planning out your days, schedule your work in a way that makes most sense for how your body rhythms work. Like for me, I am most productive first thing in the morning, so that's when I'll tackle my hardest, most challenging stuff. I will save like accounting, which you'll laugh, but it relaxes me. I like playing with the numbers and spreadsheets and things like that. It doesn't take a lot of brain power for me. I'll save that stuff for the afternoon when I can, because it just, it's easier for me to consume then. And you know, I have like this lull in the middle of the afternoon, so more times than not, I will just go frickin' take a nap, because you know what? It's my business and I can go take a nap if I want to, you know? And this is the kind of thing that you need to keep in mind. And I'll also, many times, work until 10 o'clock at night so that I can have my nap at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, because, you know, again, it's my business. I can work when I want and when it's convenient for me. But so when I say, you know, take off your weekends or something like that, maybe weekends aren't the days that you want to take off. Maybe you want to take off a Tuesday because, I don't know why, because you just want to. Like, do that. All I'm saying is make some time for yourself so that you can recharge and be healthy. Okay guys, one last story for you, and I apologize for the dog. He just will not stop barking. I used to have this, I bought this business with a partner of mine, and it was like the worst. We spent, basically from the moment we bought it, we spent all of our time and energy trying to keep it from failing. And at the worst height of our insanity, I was working, I lost track at 120 hours a week. I was not sleeping, I wasn't eating well, I was working all the time nonstop. I felt like I had to respond instantaneously to everybody. I just could not turn it off. And I mean, it was a good thing that I went through this experience, because I am confident that Catching Clouds would not have ended up as successful as it is had I not gone through that other experience. But I kind of got into this habit of just like always responding and always being on and still answering people at like 2 o'clock in the morning and not being able to turn things off. And at one point I just went, you know what? That is it. Like, my health is too important and I have to just stop. And so I'm gonna work 40 hours a week, and that is it. And whatever doesn't get done, doesn't get done. And it forced me to reprioritize what it was I was working on. And what I found was really surprising, that I was getting probably almost everything done that needed to get done in 40 hours a week, because it forced me to make sure that I was focusing on the most important things. And so I was actually making almost as much progress as if I was working twice as much. So, I mean, I just kind of learned that that's how I have to approach things. Now, I don't want to say that I'm always working 40 hours a week or less. It's still a little bit aspirational for me at this point in time. But I have kept some of those tips as far as like how to structure my day and how to be most effective when I am working. And I am much better about, like, I'll go out for a run in the morning and then I'll come home and I will get dinner prepped, and then I'll start my day at like 10, and then I'll take a nap in the afternoon, and then I might work at night, and I don't feel like I have to work solid 16 hours. I can work 8 to 10 hours kind of broken up throughout the day, and I'm so much happier, I'm so much healthier because of that. So I just feel like I need to share that with you guys as entrepreneurs. I think it's an important lesson for everybody to know. So I hope you got something out of this video. If you did, please like, comment, and share. Leave me some comments down below. Tell me if this helped. Tell me if I'm on the right track. I don't want to just be talking to myself out here. So if you found something that's worked for you, please tell us about it. If you have more questions or anything else you want to share, tell us about that too. And we will catch you later. Pause. Kim, stop antagonizing that dog. You're messing up my video. Look at the camera. Look at the camera. Such a good boy. Such a good boy. Mwah. The whole neighborhood's dogs now. That is all.